because having been relating with the female, with most females like me, there's always this fear. There's always this, I don't know, most of my friends, I try to talk to them and all. For me too, it wasn't easy getting into this space. And it's all about they are trying to stay safe. Maybe I should just be a secretary or something somewhere. I don't think I need to. Like I was trying to teach like two different people Excel. They've been looking for a job for years. And then when I tried to, the first thing was like, are you sure I can do this one? I better go. Me, I don't know how. Is it not just to type words and leave and all that? Especially the Excel. The thing is so scary for them, eh? But I don't know. One was able to cope. The other one, sincerely, I just heard the sad news that yesterday that after trying so hard to like pull the strings and all, please help my friend. She needs a job. I think she was eventually kicked out. That one didn't even want to learn. Like we'll find a way to go around it. And for that reason alone, the Excel she could, they just like, this one is not competent. She needs to leave. And that was it. By the time she resumed in January, someone else was already there. So all these things inspired my wanting to talk about my transition. I used to be an office administrator. After I finished after I finished service, that was in 2015, 6 months later, January 2016. So I started working. I got a job as an office administrator and business analyst. The office administrator that was like the core role itself, while the analyst was just once in a while, every now and then, or maybe just a way of attracting people. Like if you put one big name, they will run in and all that. So I remember well, I wasn't really tested as a fresh graduate. I wasn't really tested on the computer. They just asked, can you, we lifted everything in our CV. Yes, very proficient and all that. So I went on, I got the job after several tests, the normal write the exam, write everything, and I got the job. But when I got the job, it was really challenging. We can type words. I learned that myself when I challenged myself to do my project. Like I'm not giving it to any cyber cafe. I'll sit here and I'll learn it myself. But for that of Excel, it was a different thing entirely. Like somebody coming to tell you, you do graph today. Please prepare. And I'm like, where? How do I start from? Which? And I knew the first thing my boss said was, you fresh graduates, you are fond of, when they ask you, you just lift everything online and put on your CV. And then when they ask you, they will say you're proficient. I'm very proficient. In fact, you wrote it there, very proficient. Yes, 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 I know it. Or you plot a simple graph. You can't do that. I was just looking at him, but it dawned on me, which is what I want to tell you. I don't know if there are ladies here in this community, but the first thing is having a mind to learn. I want to be best at what I want to do. So first thing I did was I just went and paid, but I was navigating myself when I'm in the office. I would just like try to find out. I think at some point I started doing Microsoft Access because I was playing around with it. So I said, okay, I will need to go and train. I went and paid somebody. But the thing that got me angry was she didn't really give me a full package. I just learned for like, is it 1 or 2 months? And it was like, okay, I know these small things now. So I know I've been hearing of Excel. So what is the thing in this if you're giving me all this? So what I'm trying to say is, more than that, I don't know, the conventional training center, walk into a cyber cafe, they might not really have so much to offer. I think there are specific schools for that these days. I think people have gone for that analytical schools and all. If you really want to know Excel, else they might just teach you data entry. Well, data entry is a good one. Everybody knows how to type, and that's what all ladies. That's where they want to stop at. They want to stop at. Let me just enter the data and leave it there. I beg. I don't want to stress myself. It's a man's job. So I started out as an office administrator, but there was an issue. I realized maybe it's because of maybe probably a mixture of my personality and um, coming from the quantitative field. I didn't like the idea of being too relaxed, routine thing. You go and come and then you type, and that is it, and you go away. So I said, I want to focus on being an analyst. I want to focus on being an analyst. So I started challenging myself. To do that. The first thing I did was I went on LinkedIn. I Googled, I typed at the search, business analyst, and so many persons popped out, mostly guys. I didn't even see one female as at then, mostly men everywhere. I was like, okay. I started sending them friend requests. When they accept, I'll tell them, okay, please, I'm so and so person, please, I really need to learn analysis, can you teach me, or do you know where? All of them were giving me the same answer. I don't know, but you're a business analyst now, you wrote all the plenty things, especially people who came from economics. And I see that analyst, I always want to accept. None of them, they just didn't have a clue. They're like, I don't know, check online. Check online. So this is a point that most times what you will do will be self-learned, and it will require you challenging yourself on the job. First of all, you need to have a basis first. Then when you enter, what was my basis? At least I knew how to open the Excel. I knew how to do data entry, type into the cells. But what next? I didn't know. And so I started. Maybe I just had to learn a little of that sum with the sum key. Let me see. With the sum key, I just had to learn all that. Let me see if I can get something on it. Okay. So I started with that. But I want to share my screen. Okay. I started with something like this. Like this, you see. As an analyst, my role was performance review. You have to be reviewing periodically. And I was working in an energy company. Working in an energy company, we were, what we do is we get samples and then we test quality assurance, engine oils, diesels, and all that. And we tell you, is this fake? Is this going to knock your engines? So this was my role, keying in all these samples, whatever they run. And at the end of the day, you start to like, I probably sum them up. Like this is January. I already labeled this the total. We all know this auto sum. I sum this across. If you drag across, as many people that might not be new, that might not know this, you drag across, it's still going to give you same sum of February, March, April. So these were the things I started with. Going across to this side too, if I want to see the total of diesel for the year, and then going across the product. So I was to analyze samples, and these were the samples. The samples were diesel, DEO, which is the diesel engine oil, gas engine oil. This is just a dummy sample that I did. I'm no longer with the company, by the way. Gas engine oil, gas, that's the natural gas itself, water, test for the water, the coolant, and several of them. But I just made something, a dummy. And I work on something like this, which is what I do. There are other things, but I don't know. Somehow I've not worked there in like 2 years. I really tried to, but I think everything was lost somehow, the documents. So I would have like brought and maybe edited one or two things to protect the company's data, even though I'm no longer with them, but I feel like I'm obligated to protect their data. So these are the things I used to do then. Then he asked me to plot a graph. Well, my boss was kind enough to, after shouting, wait, let's do, we designed the templates together. And then I picked everything like that, the graph. Because surprising, some people might not. Me, in those days, just as far back as just few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I didn't even know all these things. You go to insert the graph, and you have something like this. Or I think I'll prefer to use the 3D. And with this, I'm able to plot a graph. So this was the kind of thing I was doing for them. And then we draw insight from there. How far, what is, as an analyst, okay, we can see, oh, the DEO increased by February and started increasing and increasing. It got to its peak in May and then dropped again. For a while, it wasn't stable like that, but we can pick it that May was actually the peak period for this Lenji Loyal DEO. So these are the kind of things I was doing then. Let me edit the chat title. Performance. So I started with something like this. Oh, I did not get the spelling right. Anyway. So I started with something like this and several others. I could also convert it to the pie chart, like change chart type. You change to pie. This is what the pie would look like. This is another topic on its own because this is another topic on its own, which the right chart to choose. Don't worry, Mr. Michael has a lot of stuff for you. So this was what I started with. Then I'll give my analysis. And aside from that, there were others like I also key in the expense for the time period. And then we try to use that to match up against, like we start to like, are we spending more as in vis-a-vis the resources and the products coming in? We start to check all that. So that was where I started. But because I was more concentrated on the administrative, I started to feel like I just wasn't enjoying the work at all. It was just something I did. I just didn't like it. I knew whenever it was time for the analysis, I can stay till we close by 5. I can stay till nine because I just liked the idea of graphs. So I started trying to change jobs. But each time I come, they always see on my CV more of administrative role, more of administrative role. So I did something first. Like I said, I went to LinkedIn. I started asking people, so please, I need your help here. When I could not, I can't really remember when I stumbled across a particular group, a particular network for Excel users. I don't know if it was on Naira Land or where, but I was always searching and searching. And on one of those days, I just found something like that and I clicked, I joined them. And that was it. I just realized, seeing what they were doing there, initially everything was so intimidating. Like, are you sure I can do this thing at all? No, I'm not sure I can do this. And sincerely, like, will I say, most of them there were males. I was only one woman. I can I remember her name? It was only one woman I was always seeing there, and I was like, I don't know, this woman must be really powerful. Maybe she's an engineer, but I think she's an accountant. I didn't even know that accountants could do things like this. Maybe she's an engineer or something because they're the only ones that can do all these things. So I was always seeing like, what is this? What is this? I don't get. I don't understand. Then I challenged myself one day. I just sat down and challenged myself like, you know what? The way I went for an interview, and on one of those days, they needed an analyst and they needed at the same time an office administrator. So people were coming and submitting CV and writing their names. At that point, I walked in and I was, is it 1,000 and something? They needed just like one person on the list. Why? And these people have been coming over the weeks, either 1,000 or 2,000 and something. That was my serial number then when I came to submit the CV. I checked at the analyst. For 2 weeks, that thing had been open, only two people. Only two people. That thing made me like, there's a serious gap, a very serious one in this economy. I sat down, I thought, and I said, that, you know what? I think at this point, I want to start running towards that thing they say is difficult. In fact, where they have said this is something made for a man. Maybe I was in school and I saw people, even if it's just one girl in the midst of several engineers. So why can't I? So at that moment, I just made up my mind that, you know what, I'll start running towards that thing that is difficult. The ones, anyone I hear, like maybe they said this one is difficult, I'll put my head, yes, I want to learn it. I want to learn it. It doesn't matter. And I kept disturbing people. You will teach me, you must teach me. For instance, of recent, I just learned Python and I was like, the way everybody has been screaming It's hard. It's very, very hard. Well, I don't know about that for developers, but for analysis, and we learned that within 2 weeks, and it was a very stressful like thing. But it was really stressful using with my schedule, because I was in the office when they were doing that training, and I tried to like, it was a free thing, and I saw the opportunity. That's the advantage of having networks. You know the right place to go to and learn, and almost at no cost at all. You know the right place. So when it was an NGO, there has been so much all around ladies trying to encourage them to move towards this side. People should stop saying all these things are hard. We need you over there. So I've been seeing a lot of that. Well, this one just came like that, and when they dropped it, it's in one of those groups I belong to. I belong to several groups, because I now started joining several communities to like, I want to know more. That was just all it was all about. I want to know more. I want to know more. And well, back to the gist, because the Python, I eventually learned it, and it wasn't hard. It wasn't difficult, because I was flowing very well. So back to my story. While I was saying, I needed a career change. So at that moment, when I saw that analyst thing, over 2000, and that is just me, because I saw the queue was still far. People were still on the queue, and I'm like, by the time they start counting, plus those that will come before the dates, before they close entries to accept CVs, the acceptance of CVs. I'm like, we might even reach 5,000. And here you're telling me for 2 weeks, only 2 analysts. That thing is Excel. Oh. It's a hospital. They just needed people that can use Excel. Only 2 analysts. So that was where I started. Like, I must start. I need to start training. So I joined communities and all. And then I got my hands at the Excel Bible. I just started doing several trainings, so much that I was saying, I'm not sure I'm coordinated at all, because I'm just learning here and there and picking everywhere. But you know what? No knowledge is a waste. No knowledge is a waste. Eventually, I resigned. I resigned in 2018. I resigned because I thought of it and said, no, the way I'm not sure. I don't want to be tied down here. I don't like here. I don't like here at all. And I don't like what I'm doing. I want to be an analyst. That's just what I made up my mind to be. And for that time period, while I was looking for jobs, I was training and training and training. Eventually, well, of course, I was being called for several interviews and all that. Eventually, that was in I resigned January 2018. By October or so, I was already getting tired. I said most people are interested in admin, but for how long? And you know this is Nigeria. I was already losing momentum. So I decided that, well, someone shall convince me, you can't run away now. This is what you have. Just go back. And on one of those days, I saw a vacancy for a secretary in the present company I work with, a media company. So I put in, and they look like, this profile, because by then I had done several trainings on analysis, and I was just adding to my CV. Any short training I'll do, collect certificates, add, both the ones I paid for and all, I was just adding and adding. So when I got there for the interview, they gave several Excel tests. This particular thing now, they said they wanted to test now a secretary that came to type. They want to test, because now I work with the company and I don't really see the secretaries doing that. But why is it at that moment they wanted to test your Excel use? They sure did asked some questions and all that. I went for the test. It was something like this that they gave to me. Something like this. This particular graph you're seeing here, that was my essay.
Okay, just to ask, the screen that you're sharing, that you're pointing at, is it the one that is showing performance review?
Yes.
So right. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was something like this that they gave to me. They just brought data. Do something like this. Let us see. And we did that. They said no. We can. We are just okay with, if you know up to this point, and you can be able to. So I did that. And said. And they said, move the chart. I don't know. I think that moment, on one of those days, I was studying for the that Excel Bible. I was taking my time to read it. I just saw something like this. They said, move the chart to another sheet. I had to move the chart. They said, move the chart to another sheet. I did this. So you see, on my own, I was actually studying on my own too, and also joining networks, also taking training as much as I could. So at the end of the day, when they returned, I'll tell you what this company did. They told me, you know what? Looking at your qualification and everything, you have gone so far with analysis that we don't want you as a secretary. We have employed somebody else. You're going to start with us, and we've given you a new role. You're going to be a market insight officer. And that was how I started. Market insight is data analysis, but then it goes the extra mile because I work in a media industry. I have to, what I will do basically is giving insights to people. I'll do the analysis, they get the data. It's a very large volume of data because think about adverts, all sort of adverts going on in Nigeria, flyers, outdoor, or on the roads, television, radio, every single data is just streaming from all over Nigeria and coming right there to my desk. And I have to be giving insight. Maybe a company comes, okay, I need you to tell us strategic insight. So the market insight role was a fusion of data analysis and strategies. So it came together to form that. So that was how I started my career fully as an analyst. And now I'll also show you something because I graduated from this point. Let me give you a sample of, let me see. A sample of what I was doing.
Your screen is no longer showing.
No longer showing.
Okay, now it's showing.
Okay. So I start to build templates like this. Well, for data privacy, I decided to tweak it and remove some things because I'm one of the data custodians in my company, media monitoring services. So I have to, protect that. So I just, can we see this screen?
No. You might need to do that, like cancel the sharing. And when you want to share, make sure you pick screen one. It's always at the extreme left, the first of your options in the screen to share. A lot of people are.
I see it now.
Like, awesome. Yes, now it's doing.
Okay. So, like I was saying, this is like a template I worked on 2 days ago, but I just tried to like edit some things out to protect the data. So I then graduated into doing things like this. You see all these graphs now? These are the things I'm doing. And these are templates I built. And to come and change it, this is what I do. When I build the template, it's easier to click on that graph. This is PowerPoint, but then you click on the graph, you go to edit data. I prefer to edit data in Excel. See, it opens. So for instance, it opens. So when I get the data from wherever I get it from, let me see. It has opened. When I get the data from, let me see where
I
I can
didn't
get
see it open.
Is it open now? Can you see it?
Yes, it's open. I can see it. I'm on two different devices. Is there? I can see it's an Excel.
Sorry, we cannot see the screen. We cannot see the screen.
Okay.
It's open.
I think it's opening now.
Maybe it might be network related.
Can you
Because
see it?
see it. So maybe everybody's
Yes, I think it's
speed of their own network.
at different times. Yes, it's network related actually.
Please carry on then.
Okay. This is how I arrived at it. I went to the graph after creating the template. I did it on PowerPoint. It's something a bit tasking anyway. It took me a while to do that, like the whole day. But once the template, you have a template, this is what I do to save time. In case another client, because I know they might want to use this format or whatever format at any point in time, this is what I do. I just go click on that graph, then right click. When I right click, I go to edit data. There is edit data in PowerPoint, edit data in Excel, but I prefer to edit in Excel. So that's exactly what I did to arrive. When you do that, what you see is this. It opens in Excel. Then maybe you get the data, like using this data, practice data. For instance, this is my data, and I can decide to, let's see. Okay, I can decide to like say, this is my data, I take this, copy it, go to that place and put Control V. Save. You see that it has adjusted to that. This is exactly what I do daily, from day to day, except the same here. Let me close it because I'm done with this particular chart, and then I close. This is what I do. Same thing here. You go edit, same process. Automatically, it's going to give that. Automatically, it's going to still go back and make the adjustments. So that was how I arrived at every single one of these that you're seeing here. This is also another chart on its own. You can also type by right clicking. You right click, change the chart type. I can decide, let's see, make it just a column chart. Or a bar chart. Let me use this. And make it a bar chart. You can choose to expand it by dragging here. So this is exactly what I do in the office.
I don't know if maybe people have questions while I'm. Do you still have other things you want to talk about? Because even me, I'm already having questions. You know,
Questions.
what you are presenting,
Okay.
I'm not seeing what's happening in the chat box. There's a whole lot of positive energy, that inspiration.
Okay. Let me take the questions.
Okay, so someone's hand is up. Let me look for that hand.
Okay.
Yeah, my name is Chibuzo. Thank you so much for the class. Yeah, I wanted to find out when you edit the data in Excel, how does it reflect on the PowerPoint document itself? Because as you were saying it, there's coincidentally, I have a document I'm working on and I wanted to edit it, but it's not reflecting, the change on the Excel did not reflect on my PowerPoint document. Just wanted to know what to do. Thanks.
Hi, Cynthia, are you there? I guess maybe network.
Okay.
Okay.
Like I earlier said, did you right click? You have to get to the particular chart.
Yes,
You click
I
on
right
it,
clicked and it took me to my
or
Excel
if you're not too sure of
source.
the format.
So I right clicked and it took me to the Excel source where I used to create my graph. Yeah, but
Okay.
I'm saying that after I made the changes on Excel, yeah, what do I do to make it reflect on the PowerPoint document?
You are breaking up, oh. Mr. Michael, we need help here.
Okay.
I
You
can't really hear how.
Okay, I think
Whose
what
network is it mine or hers? Because it was breaking.
Okay, so I think what she said is that she did it right click. I'm not sure if I heard that part, but I know I heard the part where she said she changed the Excel, but it's not reflecting. Maybe one thing I can just ask her is if you right click on the chart, you might see refresh. Or if you just click on the chart and you look on your menu to the upper right, you will see something about charts and then you will see refresh. Sometimes that can be what you need. After you have changed, because she said she has changed the figures, that she's not seeing the figures reflect. Hello?
Okay.
Similar question.
Okay.
You know when you have connected sheets, right? And you make a change in some data in the first one, therefore the result should change in the next sheet. For me, it doesn't. I have to go and do a scroll down before those changes occur.
I'm not sure I get the question.
It's along the lines of the question of similar is that when you make a change, you know, how does it doesn't immediately reflect either in your PowerPoint or in maybe a calculation in the next sheet if you have a connected worksheet.
Hi. Hello, Michael. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Okay, my name is Victor Momo. Sorry, I'm driving, so I can't type. I just wanted to ask a question. If it's happening for her in Excel, is her calculation on automatic? I can understand, not reflecting changes in PowerPoint immediately. I can still change, and it's linked via a formula. It should automatically update. So maybe the first question is that sheet or the workbook she's working on, are the calculations or automatic or manual? Maybe if we have an answer, then we can see how we can diagnose further. But maybe that's my first question. Thank you.
The answer to that is how do I know if it's automatic or manual? Because it's the first time I'm hearing about that.
Madam Cynthia, you have brought up a lot. Yes. So it's interesting. You can see people's hand up, flying up everywhere.
Well,
hello.
Perhaps you might want.
Okay, hello. I think I was muted. Okay.
Hello.
Sorry, this is Victor again. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I think a lot of us are trying to talk at the same time. I was just trying to say, okay, for the person asking, I think if you go to the formula tab and you check your calculations to the right, you would see, to the extreme right, I think on your formulas tab, you will see calculation, you see the options, you see a small drop down. You should be able to see manual, automatic, and automatic for tables. So just check what it's on. Okay, I'll hand over. Michael, you know this better than I do, so over to you.
Also handing over back to Cynthia. So, Mr. Yodeji, is yours a question? So maybe also she can pile it together or contribution. So.
Yes.
Contribution.
I actually want to appreciate Chika. That was a brilliant one. It's like I should go back to school. Thank you very much, Chika. So, and to answer, and to just add to what David said. So it's always good to know whether your calculation is on automatic or manual. So right under formula on your Excel menu tab, you will see calculation options. Right under calculation options, there are 3 options there. So make sure it's in automatic. And somebody may want to know, why must I put it in manual? If you have heavy calculation on your work, by the time you alter just a single figure, it will take time to give you your results. So sometimes you want to put in manual. When you are done, you return it back to automatic. So thank you very much. Thank you, Michael.
Yes,
So
sir.
thank you for
Thank you,
today's
sirs.
presentation.
Yeah.
Thank you, sirs.
A lot of people.
More
Thank you.
questions? Okay. Yeah, we are listening.
Madams, or I think she's the one who asked the question. What do you think is, have you gotten some guidance, or do you want maybe Cynthia to?
No, it's okay. It's okay. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay, thank you. So please carry on. Do you have other things you want to share, or should I just start asking for
Okay.
more questions?
At this point, I think that is all. This is where I'm at now. I've showed you my journey where I started from data entry, and then I'm at this point now. And well, there are more. I do other things too. Like I use the the pivots and the Power Query, but unfortunately, I tried to get as in a data from the office, but at the moment it wasn't possible because anyway, it's not accessible right now. The application we get that from, we use to download that from our server at the moment is faulty. So I wasn't really able to lay my hands on some to show you another thing, another aspect that I work on in the office. But that's that for now. I'm just telling you that in conclusion, you start from somewhere.
Yes.
And don't stop at that. Don't say, particularly for the ladies, please don't say it's hard. Everything is possible. Keep learning. Be persistent, be resilient, and find a way to just keep yourself interested in that through communities, through learning. You need to be learning from time to time to upgrade, because all these things, they too, they are selling Microsoft. So they keep bringing out new features. And then you too have to also follow the trend. You need to know and keep learning and updating. So that's all. Thank you. I stop sharing.
So I think I will let people ask their own questions before me I ask mine, because I have a lot of questions.
Okay.
To summarize some of the learnings that I've gotten. Oh, okay. So maybe Miss Adams, if maybe after the session too, we could try and I will share the group where she mentioned that that's where we try to tackle all the problems together. So some of the people you even had talk where she too, I was able to get to know her through the group. I will quickly share so we can transfer that problem to the group, and you'll be amazed by how many different ways of solving it. So I can see in the chat you've mentioned that you've tried some of what we've said, and it's like it's not getting what you want. So, but I want to summarize what, if anybody is able to help me share on time so that I won't be double tasking and making errors. If you can help us share the Telegram group, all my guys in the house, please help me share so that Ms. Adams can pop in and we can do justice to our question. So, just to summarize for those who joined late and, to bring out some of the things I may have learned, then if you have questions, you can ask. So, Cynthia, maybe now I understand why a lot of people kind of maybe, forgive me for saying this, but I'm seeing signs, why some people feel, there's a special region of Nigeria where people, they put in more effort than others. Let me use that word, and sometimes when, yes, or they did something where somebody will be very energetic and work out, and be like, no, I'm going to prefer somebody from this side of Nigeria because that's fine. And you are corroborating that too, because that effort you put is way more than, even for me, that I can say I have a bit more incentive in terms of maybe I am already seeing people doing what I want to do, and there's not so much barriers, and some people even like, oh, you're already on the path, and and I see people be like, Michael, you are putting effort, but man, my effort is nothing compared to what you have described there. So you went from you went from you are in a job where it was more of a secretary kind of work. And it's not that you are not excelling there. You are excelling. You are doing all what you are supposed to do. But you are able to see further and see that, you know what, there is higher value in you being able to do analytics, being able to do, you mentioned your boss always like put a chart and it became a problem, and and you had to help, and you decided that, you know what, this thing I'm going to master. So you had that foresight, you keep trying to see what's the next thing to grow at. And then you mentioned how, as you are improving your skills and you are hoping opportunities will come up, and the opportunities that you are looking for are not coming up. Everybody kept looking at your profile and wanting to bring you in again for secretary work, for the kind of job that will not let you use the analysis skills that you have, right? You don't want that being type of role, the role where you won't be using your analysis. And you did the unthinkable. You went to resign. Yeah. You resigned a job that you are doing well. It's not like they are frustrating your life, or like they are complaining that you are not delivering, but because you wanted to get the opportunity, you wanted to fix every gap that's holding you back, you resigned. And then you started skilling up, improving your profile. And I mean, it's really, I wish some people that I used to speak with who ask me for advice, I wish they are here so they will hear for themselves. I tell them that a lot of times it's not just because you go for one training, you are expecting magic to happen. You did many trainings, both free, paid, and you never stopped that, oh, these people, when I was going for their training, they say this is the only training I will need. And then that's how some people think of it. They're like, oh, when I go for this training, that's the only training I will need, and job will just click. They don't think of, you need to keep using it, you need to keep learning. So I've talked too much. I just want to a lot of, and then you went for the interview. Oh, that was the highlight of it. I'm going to watch this recording again and watch. And you go to your favorite part just to watch that part again and again. You went for an interview. You are number 1,000 and something on the people that have submitted CVs. And then, and then the one that you went for that got you the job, I think it's that same interview now, the one that they won many people. And then they saw your CV and they saw that you've been doing a lot of work in the analysis.
There were two separate interviews. For the other, I put in for office administrator, but that was the point when at that point I knew that I needed to make a swap very fast. Just two people. I just saw the gap there at that instant, and like following through, what I learned first was there were steps. First, start with Excel, and well, that was where I just got to know that I needed to make that swap really fast.
And I like the part where you mentioned that they came back and told you, you know what, we're going to hire somebody else for the admin role. We're going to create a new role for you. We're going to create a role insight market officer, and you'll be doing the analysis that you have skills on. They didn't say you have job experience there, but they saw that you have the skills, and from what you demonstrated, I wish people, let me look for, I'm going to go and, when I publish this thing, I will go and look for that part of the video. I will go and copy that and send to some people, because they keep thinking also to that you can't get a job unless you have a job that gives you the experience first. They underestimate the fact that motivation and doing things, when people are not even giving you opportunities, can open doors. Man, I'm really motivated. Any questions before I ask my own questions? Sorry if I've taken that. I just wanted to make sure people who joined late, they got that powerful gist. Any questions? I have questions, so that it won't be like I've chanced the remainder of us. Okay, so maybe some people are still thinking about their question. Okay, so my question is, first of all, how did you find out about that our Nigerian Excel users community? And the second part of it is, like exactly what you said. Actually, there are ladies in the group. That's why I'm even asking this question. There are ladies there, but you don't see them talk. So it's very easy for one to even assume that, I wouldn't want to know the person you said you noticed. But, maybe when you say yours, it will help us to understand maybe there's something we need to even change, and also to motivate others to be much more contributive in communities too, so that, the goodness go round. So my question is, how did you find it about the group? And then what's the motivation for you to always help, come up with answers, contribute in the community, answer people's questions, help them with their issues?
Okay, how I found the Nigerian Excel users group. I told you I was searching actively, Googling, please, analysis, where can I learn analysis, where can I? So I was just typing on Google, and I know that thing popped up, whether it directed me to either Naira Land or I can't really remember where, but I just know I was directed. No, I remember that there was this thing going on about one of those meetups that day that I need to see. There's a Nigerian Excel users group. I went for the conference, and at that moment, everything I saw, and with the number of people, still same gist anyway, 90% of them to 95% males. So I went, I found the community. They added us to the Telegram at the end of the program, and that was how I started. But I didn't just get active. When I started following through, I was like, so what do I add here now? Well, I don't even understand it. Is this not the same Excel I know? So Excel is like this. Till date, I still tell people, even in my office at the moment, because over time I've expanded knowledge here and there, you never know where you use it. But at the moment, for me, I still regard myself as a baby, a baby Excel user. But there are some things I do, and they are like, this one is IT savvy. Go to her. She knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing. I also see the person that trained me. I also see her playing around with some things, and I'm like, it's faster this way. I should look. Come, how did you do that thing? How did you do it this way? These are the benefits you get from communities, and for also going for trainings, upscaling, and all that. Them. So also on the group for like the first 2 years, because I just didn't know what to say, I was just looking. I know at some point when it's becoming too much, I'll just come in and talk. Now you should tell me now, hey God, how can somebody learn this thing? All these things. Now wow, can a human being learn all these things? Silence. I think at some point I got angry that wait, what sort of group is this? I think I'll leave this group. But I don't know. I'd already made up my mind. I'm in for this and I'm in for it. I want to be better. I want to be an analyst and I want to be good in analytics. So every now and then when I encounter one or two problems, I come to ask them questions. Please, what is this? Like as at yesterday, I was disturbing them a lot on the group. That I'm seeing something. There's something I want to do and I just don't understand. And in that, I'm learning so much. I learned something of recent too from asking questions and also contributing. I learned something new that I didn't know before. I'll take a very long route. And by the next time someone in the office was going through, I just came and just 1, 2, and the thing was done, and the person was looking like, yeah.
So anybody has a question? I think I found a way to motivate the other lady. So we say, you know what, if you want to become a threat to all the other people that are respecting you have to be active, and but then this is really a very high opening. Any questions before we ask our standard 2 questions? Okay, so I've shared the group joining link for those who maybe want to also follow, our pattern of, how that means it work. Okay, yes, sir. My big guy in the house and is up. Mr. The floor is yours. I can see your hand up, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Mr. Michael. Thanks, Cynthia.
Thank you, sir.
So my question is to Cynthia. Could you please help with the communities that you join so that we can share with other people and they can also be encouraged to also join where they can also upskill? Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Michael, I don't know if I can relate with you on that because I need to get the links from the group. I don't think I have it at my disposal right now. I get to the groups and then get the links from them. There's one, they're all on Telegram, the analyst group. We love Excel. I think there's a second one too.
Maybe when you give me, then I will send to everybody.
Yes.
So maybe just to notify everybody, the easiest way for me to send, though I have Mr. Yomi's contact, I can send him, but I'm guessing other people too will want it because it's a question I think many people too will like to. There are people who they want to also follow the same success stories as you've shared. So I just quickly want to share to us that I'm going to send it also to everybody via this our meetup community because that's what the community is actually for. This I've sent it in a group chat. So if you know that you have not been getting messages from me, every week I send the recordings, I send whatever resources the presenter has shared. And so for her now, this one that she's going to share to us, I'm also going to send it to everybody via this. So that way I know I send it, it goes to everybody rather than trying to fish people out one by one and send. So thank you, Mr. Yomi, for that very good question, sir. And thanks, Madam Cynthia, for the. It's like extra work for you. You've said you will even go and fish out everything for us. We are very, very grateful.
You're always welcome, sir.
Any other questions from anybody? I think we are now like 5 minutes to the end. So it's a large house we have today, and people are enjoying your session.
I'm honored.
And you are very down to earth with sharing to us the truth. You know, you are not even like trying to tell us just the rosy part. You told us the part that was not so rosy. You told us the part that was so made it very relatable, and anybody can follow this to achieve mastery too. So, two questions that we standard have, and question number one: is anybody's hand up? Or okay, so it's a chat. Okay, good. So, question number one is with all of what I just want to ask you. So, what for you will be like next step? So what's like as where you are now, which is a lot of progress, but then again, too, I see you mentioned Python, so I'm guessing you are with all of these communities you are in. You are abreast of what people are saying and maybe what is beginning to catch steam. So me too, I want to tap into some of the knowledge and hopefully some people too can benefit. So what are like next steps for you? I know you mentioned Python. I don't know what other things too. So if you look at yourself, say in the next 4 years, what are the things that you think like these are the things you are making efforts to? So some of us too can carry our bag and start trying to follow your steps and like, okay, Cynthia has said these are the other things, so let us to key into them. Mm-hmm.
Okay, my next step is I think I want to go beyond using analysis for just the office. I want to now go beyond that into, I think I've always had a team I want to now contribute to the community. I've always had a team for small businesses, helping them. So every single training and everything is all geared towards, particularly, I think I'm from the southeast. I have a lot of my brothers and all right there in the market, and those ones are very stubborn. They don't understand that the economy, this world is very dynamic. They just want to be left there, leave us alone. Leave us alone. Let's just be counting the money there and don't come and disturb us. So I have it in mind to like launch out there and kind of introduce them into analysis. Analysis is a whole lot that can help them be more efficient. So I think that's my next step now. I've gotten to learn, I've learned SQL, I use SQL, I use Python, I use the Power BI, and these other ones. So that's just it. Go beyond the corporate.
It's not just people in your office. Yeah, I tried to all of us, and it's a good one because we are getting motivation from you. Wow.
Thank you.
That's key. So hopefully you will have things that will help people in their normal trading. Those people who don't think of using Excel, like exactly the way you said it, you create things for them that will help them to use data to improve their work and businesses. So when it's open, let us know so we can help you push word out. We can help you in whatever you need from anybody in the community. We are willing to help.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you so much.
So the last one is there are many people, apart from those who might be here, I know people who are not here that I will want them to hear from you. Like an advice. Imagine someone who is struggling, with trying to break into this data analysis space on both understanding what it is and also getting a job that is relevant. What will you advise? What would be your advice?
Okay.
Yes.
My advice is start from somewhere. Start with the trainings and also be open to internship. Start with trainings, be open to internship. Sometimes it won't have to, you might not, sometimes you might not afford the opportunity to get in the meantime, getting paid the way you want, or you might not, maybe you might just be stipend or so, but you know what you want, and you know that you're well positioned for, should I say, a train is moving, and don't be left behind. You should be able to see ahead where this train is heading to and follow. So I'll say keep training, be open to internships, keep applying, don't underestimate what you have, because you never can tell. I might have backed out or anything like that. And even right now, I still see some people still, but I don't know, the industry, is a very interesting one. I like the fact that data is just streaming left, right, center. That's what I need. Large data, interesting ones like that, with the storytelling and all that. At the moment, I'm just like, let me just see what this thing is. Let me navigate in the industry for a while. So that's just my advice. Keep training. Be open to internship opportunities, and also join communities. Yes, join communities. Network with people that are like-minded. So that would be my advice.
Thank you. I'm writing them. So any other questions before we close this session? I'm done with questions that I have planned. Or any comment. It doesn't have to be questions anyway. Any contribution, any comment, anything. Okay. So I'm writing what she said. Keep training, be open to internships, join communities, don't underestimate what you have. And let me just add, and never give up, because that is well showcasing our story to us today. So once again, we want to say a very big thank you for the honor, and you have also set the trail for us looking for other lady speakers so that we'll have a balance. Even though I don't know why you're a different person, but almost all ladies that I know do Excel very well. They are not loud about it as we are as guys. So it makes it difficult for them to be noticed so much in the online. Like you said, you search, sometimes you don't really see guys and guys. So we are going to try our best to identify. So if you have anybody too in your network that you think we should speak with, it would be great to have more ladies also come and share their own experience like you have done, and help us to learn more too. So once again, we want to say a very big thank you. And thanks for the awesome work you are doing in the community. And keep up your energy, keep up your vision, keep up your openness. And man, I don't want to imagine what it's going to be like in 4 years, but I'm really surprised if maybe you are even, what are all those things people suddenly get? Maybe you are even president, so I won't be surprised if you country, with that kind of motivation and energy and effort, one can do pretty much anything. I'm really energized for this year and the next one. Thank you very, very much. A lot of people are saying thank you, in the chat box. We really appreciate. And so at this point, we want to say it's been a wonderful session with you. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you,
And have
everyone.
a good day. To every other person in the house, if you're interested in Power BI, we also have another session coming up. But I don't want to advertise. I want us to gain what we are here, learning here, and let it sink in. So thank you very much, and have a nice Sunday, everybody. Thank
Thank
you.
you to everyone.
Bye.
Bye.